Darren, do you mind if we get the musings of one Kenneth G and get up to date? Get up to date with where the Michigan fan contingent is at. Should he take the stage right now?
Yes, please. Kenny,
Please.
after that performance.
Feel like I'm on trial.
No, you're not.
That's it. I'm getting
Because you
This is
are-
just the discovery
You
period.
are the
right.
Listen, you're the Michigan realist.
Yes.
Right? I said to you when we were talking that the way that the game played out and the struggles offensively that Michigan had, it was something that in the back of your mind you could see happening. Now, you're a realist about what it is. You mentioned last week when we were talking about Michigan and their season that you thought they were a playoff team, but there would be bumps in the road like this. So after the first game, you mentioned it's a win, 30-10, but you have questions yourself. So please, Mr. KG, take the floor and tell us, what are these questions that you have on this Michigan team?
Well, I thank you, Darren. I appreciate that. Yeah. But, I mean, mainly the question marks are the question marks we had pre-season. Quarterback, Davis Warren was the decision. Now, to me, that's a bit of a head-scratcher, but if he couldn't beat out Davis Warren for the job, then maybe that's something we should be concerned about as Michigan fans. He did have a touchdown pass in the game. I mean, it was a pretty easy pass, but even still, the offensive line, there are questions there, although I felt like they played pretty decently, and I feel like they can get better over the totality of the season. But running back is something I think we really need to look at. Khalil Mullins might need to be in serious considerations of being that all-purpose back. Because Donovan Edwards on a 3-down basis, I just don't know if he's going to be able to carry the load. I like what he can do out of the backfield and in spots, but what Khalil Mullins showed during that game, I would seriously be thinking about that if I'm Michigan.
Okay, and that's the avenue I wanted to go to.
Yeah, I knew you was going to go after Donovan.
When do I get to ask the question? When is it fair?
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you guys. When do we get to ask the question about Donovan Edwards? Because I keep hearing about it.
I understand.
And he's made big plays. Absolutely,
yes, absolutely.
He has. But I look down, 11 carries, 27 yards against is he what when do I get to ask a question?
You won't have to wait too much longer. I'll say that. To me, if he can't get this corrected by the Oregon game, then we definitely got some questions.
Maybe you were fooled a little. Maybe we were all fooled.
Maybe.
Because I was as high on him as anybody else was.
And he could just be one of those just flash running backs. We've seen him plenty of times before. Not somebody that's necessarily a 3-down back, but somebody that can come in, provide change of pace, and that can break off big plays if things align the right way. But just going forward, I just really like what Khalil Mullins showed in that game. Also, we need to figure out what's going on at receiver as well. I thought Samaj Morgan would have a better showing. And I know the quarterback play has been kind of iffy, but we definitely need to see offensively where this team is going to go. Now, defensively, I'm not worried. They held Fresno State to, I believe, 9 yards rushing the whole game. So the defensive line was there. Josiah Stewart had a really good game. Of course, Will Johnson didn't have the best game, but he came through at the end, making a very clutch play on that screen interception that went back for 6. But it's just the offense that I'm really worried about.
Because the bottom line is, D-Mac, and the beauty of this is we will see in 5 days. Because Texas is coming to town. And, I saw it's right around a touchdown.
Yeah.
They're right around a touchdown underdog. I saw 6.5, depending on where you shop. But the moral of the story is this. The quarterback play that I saw, that's not good enough.
No, it's not.
No, absolutely.
Period, end of story.
No, isn't that it? I looked at that game and watching that game, and it wasn't that game was in jeopardy. It was moving forward because what has everybody said? Well, you got to be a nine-win team, 3-loss team with big games, which one of them coming up against Texas. I think as you're watching that game as a Michigan fan, you're going, oh, my gosh, we have less to compete with than we thought because this is, for lack of a better term, a schmozzle.
Yes, but
right? On offense. So,
yep.
Right, because I think it's the confidence of moving forward because do you think they can correct this in a week?
Not necessarily
at the college
a week.
level. This isn't pro,
Yeah.
right? This is something that is like an ineptitude, and this is quarterback position that some people thought right? We're talking before the show, Neil, going, how does Michigan not have a quarterback?
Yeah. And D-Mac, that is it. Mm-hmm. So here's my deal on this whole thing. If you are Michigan and you're defending national champions and you're the all-time leader and stuff like that, and yes, guys, this was coming because this is how this works, everybody. Last year was last year, and it's over. And don't tell me about, well, it's a transition year. The great programs don't have transition years. They have another quarterback that rolls in there. When the offensive line leaves, they have people that they plug in there. That's how it works when you're a storied, great program. You want the smoke, right? Like that's what all the Michigan fans say.
Neil, I'm gonna tap. You're exactly correct, but I'm not gonna.
But this ain't the
I'm
SEC.
not gonna disavow the conversations we had last week about Michigan's not in the Alabama, in the Georgia conversation yet. That this year might be that.
But D-Mac, you play like this.
Built on the back end, solidified. The program's not there. It's headed in the right direction. They've reached some hurdles they needed to get over. They proved some things that they can compete, but they're not consistent enough. And this is a glaring piece that may keep them out of the playoffs. Forget about
possibly
with this ineptitude at quarterback, and you got to play, 3 games that most people are counting on, like you might lose.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the flag that I think has gone up. And to your point, Neil, this was one of the things that I think a lot of Michigan fans, like Kenny, had said that this might be the year that it's
a transitional period.
That's not how great programs. I don't want to hear that, KG. I don't want to hear it.
This is not the SEC, though. It's easy to reload in the SEC. We're in the Big Ten. I do understand that.
Right. This is the question of why you're not Auburn or LSU, because this won't consistently happen.
Yes.
This might be the miss right now, and they know that. I don't understand how they could allow this to happen.
And when you lose
point.
So many players in the draft, it's going to take a minute to reload this team. They lost a lot in the draft.
How is this the answer at quarterback for Michigan?
For
Michigan,
and as far as the quarterback conversation, I believe they do have one in the pipe with Jaden Davis. He's a red shirt right now.
Oh, man.
But I'm just,
that happened quick, didn't it, Sven?
I'm just saying, though. But this is a year in which they lost a lot in the draft. You have a new coach. You have new everything, essentially. New defensive coordinator. New everything. So that's why I said in the beginning, if they don't make the playoff, it's not the end of the world to me. Now, I will have bigger expectations in the years coming up once Sharon Moore can actually facilitate the program with his people. But going forward, yes, they do have a question mark at quarterback, but we just have to see. We have to wait and see at this point.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Sean Hart, leaders and best is what you say, not middle of the road and mediocre. And I'm not saying that. My question is, how is... But KG, is this good enough?
No, it was not.
Is this going to work?
No, it was not.
Will this work on Saturday?
No.
Will this work in Columbus?
No, it will not.
Will this work if you have to play Alabama in the college football playoff?
No, it won't.
But then that's it. And again, I got upset about, you're moving the goalposts. I'm not moving the goalposts. This is how this works. When you win a championship, you're expected to come back and not... And they don't have an answer at the Michigan, man.
There has not been that many repeat national champions in college football except Alabama. There's not a lot of those.
And Georgia didn't lose a game for 3 years.
Yes, but once again, we are pointing out SEC programs. It is so easy to reload when you're an SEC program.
Why? You're Michigan.
Even you said it. It's different down there.
You're Michigan.
You've been to Florida. You know how they train down there. You know how the prospects are down there.
I know how that stuff works.
Down there.
How do you not have a quarterback? How?
It's a transitional period.
When you wanted to be a champion, what did you do about your quarterback spot? What did you do?
We illegally recruited.
One.
Illegally recruited.
Guys got suspended for it.
We're talking about 2023, but fine. We illegally recruited.
Right. So, why don't you keep that rolling? I don't understand how this is your answer.
Give it time. That's all I'm going to say. Now,
you don't get time, KG. Texas is here in 5 days.
I understand that.
5 days. Texas is here.
I understand that. But it is what it is. All the questions that we had are the same questions that were before. So I'm not tripping. It is what it is. We just got to see it play out on the field.
They should have paid for Cam Ward.
Mike G. Neil, we have 5 QBs. What?
That means you don't have
one. That means you don't have one QB.
Like I said, I thought Alex Orji would be the start, but if he can't beat Davis Warren out, maybe that warrants more questions about him. But still time to tell. Alex Orji could get in, but as far as Davis Warren right now, he's a walk-on, but he's got to play better.
Damn.
Absolutely has to play better.
Damn, because Spenny, we all know everybody loves orgies in the end zone.
Yeah,
True.
come on. I wanted so many more orgies, man. We got one, but I wanted a gaggle of orgies.
Michigan should have dumped out the bag for Cam Ward, man.
No, I agree.
100%.
Kid's going to be a Heisman candidate this year.
Quarterbacks went all over the country, everywhere. Oregon got one. Cam Ward was out there. Like, why? How is this your... Like, look around you, man. See, this has been my point the whole time, KG.
It's the Big Ten, and we lost a lot of starters.
If you had Cam Ward on Saturday, you guys would have won by 35 points.
Your point, Neil, is if you're Michigan at the top with the way that the rules are in NIL, you should be able to go out and get
100%
pretty much whoever you want unless they are already at one of those schools.
Michigan is the biggest brand in college sports. Michigan is one of the most fruitful and
the biggest revenue producing program
in college. There is no excuse that they should get outbid on a quarterback by anybody. I don't care if it's Miami. I don't care if it's Texas. I don't care if it's anybody. Michigan has the money to go dollar for dollar with anybody in college football.
And this is my point of the story. Like, I expect more from them than you do as a fan.
God. Here you go.
Why? How is
go.
this your answer? You're coming off a national championship, and this is the answer?
Yeah, when we lost everything that we've lost.
Look at the draft and look at Georgia and look at Alabama. These teams that you say are your peers.
SEC programs.
Look at what they lose in the draft.
I understand. SEC programs.
Georgia's whole defense gets drafted in the first 3 rounds. What do? They go undefeated the next year.
SEC program.
So you're not that.
This is the Big Ten.
Okay, so Michigan is not that. Michigan's not in those waters.
Give it time.
Well, are they not in those waters, or are they?
Give it time.
Are they in the process of getting in the water?
Transitional period.
Did they just eat a meal and they have to wait 45 minutes before they go back in?
Give it time.
I'm trying to understand.
We're not Auburn after one game, Neil. Relax.
It was closer to Auburn than it was to Georgia.
I hear you. It's week 1.
All right, man. Old Jarhead, there is clearly a huge quarterback problem at Michigan. Detroit 313. Michigan will be okay. And yes, Michigan will.
And we're talking about one side of the ball. Defensively, we're going to be fine.
But KG, you can't have that at quarterback and win in today's college football. You can't.
I mean, our defense has gotten us pretty far the past few years.
Do you think you're going to beat Texas?
No, I actually had us pegged to lose to Texas in the preseason little rankings.
That USC game's looking a little different now too, right?
I wouldn't say that. Relax. I wouldn't say that.
USC looked a lot better than I expected.
I understand.
But LSU always chokes.
We're not worried about Miller Moss.
Brian Kelly always chokes.
Yeah, we're not worried about Miller Moss. It's fine.
And look, like, it can look the same at the end because all you guys have to do to get in the, you can lose to Texas, you can lose to Oregon, you can lose to Ohio State. You'll still get in the playoff.
Yeah.
If you can beat Fresno, which you did, Arkansas State, USC, Minnesota, Washington, Illinois, Michigan State, Indiana, and Northwestern.
This is why, to me, the mission is just make the playoff. I don't care how it looks. Make the playoff, I'm cool. But like I said, we've lost a lot. It's going to take a while to actually rebuild this program to where it was when Jim Harbaugh took off and everybody else took off. So it is what it is.
Burn, USC is going to smack Michigan so hard, it'll be like having the Schembechler era Rose Bowl flashbacks.
Y'all wildin'.
So, yeah, JP17, it's one game and still undefeated. Okay, cope, bro. Cope. Because Texas is coming to town on Saturday, whether you're ready or not.
You lucky we can't pick apart OU.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Because you were salivating to wait here and pick this shit apart.
No, because I'm right, KG.
Okay.
I'm right.
You calling your shot this early? Week 1?
No, because they're still going to get in the playoff. They can lose all 3 of these games.
His get right was they're going to make the playoff.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just funny for you to be victory lapping week 1, but we'll see.
All right, so you're on the record. They're going to beat Texas this week, and that
like
was good
I said,
enough.
Neil, I will give you your credit when it's deserved. Right now, it's wait and see.